The basketball world has changed so much in recent years with the rise of social media. It's not just the top recruits getting all the attention, people are going viral for a multitude of reasons, and in today's video, we're going to be looking at 10 recent viral prospects and where they are now. So if you guys like my content, make sure you like and subscribe. Let's try to get 3 likes on today's video, and let's hop right into it. Okay guys, we're going to start off with a player that took the basketball world by storm with his insane dunks and crazy scoring performances in Mcclung. It seemed every highlight video that was coming out from him was getting bigger and bigger and bigger, racking in millions and millions of views. He actually ended up beating Allen Iverson's record for the most points in Virginia high school basketball history, but despite this, he was still only ranked the 11th player in the state and 245th player in the nation, but still managed to get some scholarship offers, and while at one point he was committed to Rutgers, decided to go to Georgetown University. In terms of his professional future, it was very important for him to prove himself as not just a flashy dunker that dominated poor competition. This season, he managed to get 13.1 points, shooting only 39% from the field and 28% from 3, but had flashes of greatness, including his 38-point performance and an overtime victory over Little Rock. While he didn't have a great freshman year, he's actually still projected on several mocks to be a first-round selection in 2020. Now, I'm not sure if I see that happening, but I hope for nothing but the best, and as of right now, his future is still yet to be decided. Next, we got Trayvon Duvall, who was one of the most well-known players coming out of high school 2 years ago. He was the #1 point guard in the class and was headed to Duke as a projected lottery selection in the 2018 NBA draft. Duvall definitely did not live up to the hype as that #1 overall point guard, only averaging 10 points, 5.6 assists, shooting 43% from the field and 29% from 3. He was greatly overshadowed by fellow teammates and top recruits Marvin Bagley and Wendell Carter Jr. and never even got to hear his name called on the night of the 2018 NBA draft. Pretty sad to see him go from a top player in high school to fighting for a roster spot in the NBA. Since being undrafted, he's only played in 3 NBA games where he didn't even really play and has spent most of his time in the NBA G League, where again, it wasn't impressive, only getting 12.5 points, 3.4 assists, shooting 42% from the field and 24% from 3. Next, we got Jalen Hands, who came out of high school in 2017 as the #3 point guard in the country just behind Trayvon Duvall. Hands was one of those well-known players in that class. His flashy playstyle and crazy dunks created some insane mixtapes that consistently went viral. Hands decided to go to UCLA and was expected to become a first-round selection, but didn't even end up averaging 10 points in his freshman season, so he decided to come back for another year. This year, he had an okay season, getting 14.6 assists, shooting 41% from the field and 37% from 3, and made the decision to go to the 2019 NBA draft, where he was actually drafted with the 56th overall pick to the Brooklyn Nets. I still feel Jalen Hands has a lot of potential with his combination of athleticism and three-point ability, but he has a lot to prove in the near future to solidify himself a spot in this league. Next, we have Jordan McCabe, whose situation is a little bit different than the guys we've already mentioned, and that's because he started off as a child prodigy. In 2010, the Como 4 station in Seattle, Washington made a video about Jordan McCabe, his workout regimen, and insane basketball skills for his age. We don't usually hear about these child prodigies later down the line, but McCabe is one of those few exceptions. He went on to have a viral high school career with crazy handles and passes, and actually was the 86th ranked player in the country. He decided to go to West Virginia this season, where he hasn't been anything special. So far, he's averaged only 5.8 points per game, shooting an atrocious 32% from the field. As of right now, it doesn't look like the NBA is in the cards, but he has 3 more years at West Virginia to prove he's that great player we deemed him as just a little kid. Next, we actually have a group of players, and that's going to be Jelly Fam. Started by Isaiah Washington, Jelly Fam was a group of high school players that went viral with their crazy layups known as jellies. Now, what is a jelly? In Isaiah Washington's words, it's a layup where you gotta get in the air, float, kick your legs open, flick it with some English, use different angles off the glass, stuff like that. Left hand, right hand, reverses, there's a lot of variations to it. Now, Jelly Fam consists of a lot of members, but the face of it would be Isaiah Washington and Javon Quinterly. Isaiah Washington was one of the most well-known players in high school as he started a viral movement that every kid with access to social media and a basketball was trying to replicate. Washington was a 68th ranked player in high school and actually committed to the University of Minnesota, where everyone was excited to see him bring his flashy playstyle. Sadly, things didn't really work out in Minnesota. In his freshman year, he averaged less than 9 points per game, shooting less than 37% from the field, and in his second year, he actually had a smaller role where he only averaged 4 points per game. Due to this diminished role, Washington actually decided to transfer to Iona College in his home state. Another fellow member of Jelly Fam would be Javon Quinterly, who actually received a lot more recruiting recognition as he was a McDonald's All-American and the 26th ranked player in the country. He decided to go to a top program in Villanova this year, where he really didn't have a role, getting less than 10 minutes a game and averaging only 3 points. Due to this, just like Washington, he decided to transfer and is actually headed to play at Alabama. They were some of the most exciting players in high school, but it's fair to say that Jelly Fam hasn't had much success at the next level so far. Next, we have Bob Rszke, who took over social media, making headlines as a 7'6" freshman. Now, to me, it was pretty clear from day one that with his frame and severe lack of coordination, there wasn't a realistic chance we would ever see him in the NBA, but that didn't stop people from giving him an insane amount of hype. This hype was elevated when it came out he would be teaming up with high school sensation LaMelo Ball at Spire Institute. Now, LaMelo Ball would go on to have a great season at Spire, end up finishing the year as a top recruit in the country, and now projected top pick in the 2020 NBA draft, but this wasn't the same for Bob Rszke. While videos talking about him and LaMelo teaming up were racking in millions and millions of views, sadly, that idea sounded a lot better in our head than it ended up panning out. He actually played on Spire's B team this season, and while there isn't any recorded stats, there are rumors that he barely even played, and as of right now, there's no interest in college teams. I don't expect any interest in college teams. He's dealing with scoliosis in his back. He really doesn't look comfortable in his own skin, and if it wasn't for his absolutely insane height, we would have no idea who he is. Next, we have Julian Newman, who went viral as a little kid with his crazy workouts and starting on the varsity team as just a 4'5" fifth grader. Absolutely insane. Newman would steadily gain a bigger and bigger following, and over the years, videos about him or of him have collectively brought in over 100 million views. Newman is one of the most skilled players on the whole entire planet. The obvious draw is his insane handles, but standing at just 5'7", he's received almost no recruiting interest aside from the one reported offer from UT San Antonio. Julian Newman is headed into his senior season where he's actually going to be playing for his dad's startup prep school in Prodigy Prep. Really don't see that working out. That seems like a big dream, but who knows? Newman's future is still very unclear at this point. I don't see him ever stepping foot in the league. It's going to be very hard at 5'7", but still think he's going to make a name for himself for the foreseeable future, whether that is going to play overseas or continuing to grow on social media, very similar to what we've seen the professor do as of late. Next, we have Shareef O'Neill, who actually gained a lot of attention early on, not for his play on the court, but being the son of one of the best players in NBA history, Shaquille O'Neal. Shareef actually started off his high school career pretty slow. He barely even played and wasn't receiving any national attention, especially when it came to recruitment. But by the end of high school, he had made a name for himself with his play at Crossroads and playing with top recruit Bol in AAU. O'Neal finished his senior season as the 32nd ranked player in the country, and while at one point was committed to Arizona, decided to go to UCLA. Before he could even touch the court this season, it was discovered that he actually had a heart condition and had to get surgery that would keep him out for the entirety of the season. O'Neal is back. He's been playing in the Drew League. He looks just as explosive as ever and will have the opportunity to prove himself next year. It's clear he has NBA potential. I just hope this heart problem doesn't stop teams from taking him if he has a great season at UCLA. I really think he's going to have a great year, and I expect him to be in the NBA within the next couple seasons. Lastly, for this video, we're going to have Lis Angelo Ball. He's part of one of the most viral families in basketball history. His brothers are Pelicans point guard Lonzo Ball and top prospect in the 2020 draft, LaMelo Ball. Lis Angelo Ball gained a lot of hype playing with his brothers at Chino Hills, where they actually ended up winning a national championship. Social media consistently praised Lis Angelo Ball as underrated, as he was unranked coming out of high school and everyone expected him to one day be drafted to the NBA. He ended up going to UCLA, where at the start of the season, he would actually get arrested in China for shoplifting. This would keep him away from the team indefinitely, but he ultimately decided to leave UCLA and head overseas, where he would join his brother LaMelo in Lithuania. His time there really didn't help his case going to the NBA, and actually went undrafted in the 2018 NBA draft. He didn't even manage to get on a summer league roster. That was actually very surprising to me. I expected him to be playing on that Lakers summer league roster. That wasn't the case. Currently, Lis Angelo Ball is recovering from an ankle injury and is hoping to make a summer league roster a year from now. I've never been confident in Lis Angelo. I've gotten a lot of hate for that over the past couple years, but with how everything's turned out, I really hope he can turn things around. That's the end video, guys. Make sure you tell me your thoughts in the comments below. Tell me who you think has the best chance to turn things around. Right now, I'm gonna have to go with Shareef O'Neill, but if you guys like the video, make sure you like and subscribe, and the shoutouts are gonna be J Dilla 2020, ET3 Baller, Buddy Manelli, MBG, and Jerome Hopkins. If you guys want to shout out on the next video, all you gotta do is like the video and comment liked or rep notification gang, and I'll shout 5 of you guys out. With all that being said, hope you guys have a great day, and peace.